Salut mes amours! So, this is the video solution of the worksheet that you've done this week. This is the second science worksheet talking about reproduction in flowering plants. So, we talked about different parts of a flower with the function or the job of each of the parts and the first step of the reproduction process. So, let's start. The first part of question number 1 shows the diagram or the drawing of a flower with the different parts of the flower. What we have to do is to label or annotate the diagram of this flower using special terms: stigma, anther, petals, sepal, ovules, and ovary. Okay, I'm going to start with the petal and the sepal part. Petals are the colored part of a flower. So petals again are the colorful parts of a flower. Okay, while sepals are the leaf-like structure that protect the leaf when it's a bud. So I'm gonna color them in the right colors. Sepals are the green structures that look like leaves. These leaf-like structures protect the flower when it's still young and small. Petals are the colorful parts of the flower that attracts insects and animals to the plant. Okay, so I'm going to cross these two words. Let's talk about the girl or the female reproductive part. Actually, these three words are parts, or these three parts belong to the female reproductive part, which is this one standing in the middle of the flower. I'm going to okay. So this is the female reproductive part of the flower. I'm gonna color it with girly colors. Okay, the head of this female reproductive part is the stigma, the sticky stigma that waits for the pollen grains. So the stigma is the head of the female reproductive part. What about these inside? The eggs. The eggs found inside the fat part of the pistil or the female reproductive part are called the ovules. The ovules will be seeds later on after meeting the pollen grains coming from the male anther. Okay, so there's no arrow pointing to the ovary. We're not going to choose it. I'm gonna cross all of these. We still have the word anther. Anther is the boy's head. It's the head of the boys or the male reproductive part. And I will color this one in blue. So the anther is the first part or the head of the male reproductive part. We have here two male reproductive parts, two stamens. In part B of question 1, we have to indicate the function or the job of different flower parts. What about the ovary? What is the job or the function of the ovary? The ovary is the belly of the girl. It's the part that will hold the seeds later on. So we say that the ovary contains the female cells or the female eggs that we call the ovules. The ovules will become seeds later on after meeting the pollen grains. Okay, what about the anther? The anther is the head of the male reproductive part. It is the head of the stamen. This anther contains the pollen grains, contains the pollen grains needed to make the seeds. The anther contains the pollen grains, while the ovary contains the female eggs, which are the ovules. Okay, when the pollen grains meet the ovules, we will have a seed. Sepals, like I said, are leaf-like structures. They protect the flower as it grows. They actually protect the buds of the flowers. Part C, what is the role or the job of the petals of a flower in pollinating it? Okay, pollination is when pollen passes from the anther, when pollen passes from the anther to the pistil, which is this part, this one. I will also color it in yellow. So when pollen passes from the anther to the pistil, we call this act pollination. Okay, is there a role or a job for these petals in pollination? Actually, petals are the colorful parts of the flower with beautiful scents, beautiful smells. Okay, their colors and perfumes attract pollinators. Pollinators like bees, butterflies, some birds. So these animals will be attracted to the flower and they will move pollen from the anther to the stigma. They will help, sorry, pollinators will help moving pollen grains from the anther to the pistil. So pollinators help help the plant making pollination, sorry. Okay, so yes, these petals have an important role in pollinating the plant. Petals are the colorful parts that attract pollinators again. The group of petals are called the corolla, right? So the corolla is the group of petals. The petals together are called corolla. Okay. The calyx is the group of sepals in a flower. So these leaf-like structures, a plant can have many sepals, and the group of sepals is called the calyx. Okay, we still have pistil and stamens. The stamens are the boys for sure. I'm gonna color them in blue. The pistil or the carpel is the girl. So I will color it in pink. The pistil is the female part. It is the girl. It is the female reproductive organ of a flower. Okay, while the stamen is the male, is the boy, the male reproductive part of a flower. So again, calyx is the group of sepals. Corolla is the group of petals. The pistil or the carpel is the female reproductive organ in a flower. The stamens are the male reproductive organs in flowers. So let's continue. Palm trees are cultivated in Lebanon. There are two kinds of palm trees. The ones with flowers, these flowers have stamens, but they don't have pistils. So they have the boys, the male reproductive parts, the male reproductive organs, but they don't have a pistil. They do not have a girl. Okay, they don't have the female reproductive organ. We have also palm trees with with flowers. These flowers have a pistil, so they have the female reproductive organ, but they don't have stamens. Okay, which one is the male palm tree? I colored it in blue. Okay, male palm trees are the trees that hold flowers with stamens. Sorry, flowers with stamens. That's and no pistil. Okay, so these trees, they hold flowers with stamens, and these flowers have they don't have pistil. The female palm trees carry flowers with a pistil but without stamens. So these flowers have a pistil, but they don't have a they don't have stamens. Okay, I will change the color right here. Okay, determine. So I'll repeat again. Each time I ask you to determine, you have to explain and to justify your answer. Which palm trees can give dates? Which palm trees can give these fruits? Okay, with the seed inside. These are yummy fruits with a seed inside. So it's like they're asking us to indicate which palm trees can make seeds or can hold the seeds. Okay, so all living things reproduce and make babies, and most living things have their females holding the babies inside their bodies. Like us, females, for people, it's the female that hold the baby inside her belly, right? This is also the case for plants. because the flowers hold the seeds, which are the plant's babies, in the ovary. Okay, let me show you the ovary again. I'll go up in the worksheet. So this fat part in here will be the belly of the flower holding the seed or the baby inside. So you got the answer now. The female palm trees are the trees that will hold the seeds inside. That means that can give dates. And something that I didn't mention yet in the lesson, that the seeds can turn on, or the flower can turn into a fruit after pollination. So again, the female palm trees are the trees that will hold the seeds inside. Okay. Flowers make seeds in the ovary of the female reproductive organ. This organ that contains the ovules. So the female palm trees will hold the seeds inside. Okay, I'm gonna fix it a little bit. They can give dates. Flowers make seeds in the ovary of the female reproductive organ. So I explained my point of view. To obtain dates, to obtain these fruits, we attach male flower bunches to female palm trees, and we wait for the wind to transport the pollen so that a part sticks to the pistil. So we have flowers with a stamen on a tree, and we have flowers with a pistil on another tree. The pollen needs to move from the male anther to the female stigma, so from one tree to another. To make this easy for the plant, we attached male flower bunches to the trees, to the female trees, and we were waiting for the wind to transport the pollen. So first of all, give the name of this step. The first step of the reproduction is called pollination. Okay, when pollen is taken from the male anther to the female stigma, we say that pollination is happening. Okay, so this is pollination. Give the name of the pollinator in this case. Who is doing this act? Who is moving the pollen from the male anther, from the male flower bunches to the female palm tree? It's the wind's job. Okay, so in this case, the wind is the pollinator. Indicate if the pistil alone is sufficient to give seeds. Can a pistil alone make seeds? No. Pollen grains from the male are needed to make seeds. Okay, this is a note for you. The ovules plus pollen grains will make seeds. Okay, then I erase it because it's not the answer, and here we just have to indicate to tell if yes or no. So no, a pistil alone cannot make seeds since pollen grains are needed. And that's it.